Good evening, everyone. How are you? Slight change of scene as my office lights have gone out. I went to put the light on and all the bulbs went, so I have moved into the kitchen, so it's a little bit more lighter. Anyway, so how are you all? It feels like a while since I've been on my business page, so apologies for that, but there has been so much going on, both business-wise and personally, and I just wanted to take the time out while I was away. If you're here and you're watching, let me know. Give me a hi, give me a comment, let me know you're watching, and let me know who you are so I can say hi. Yeah, so obviously I went to the Believe retreat in Sotogrande in Spain, which was absolutely lush. We had such a lovely time, and I met some amazing people. There was 18 of us on it, and every single one of them different, from different backgrounds, GPs, architects, healers, you know, everybody from loads of different backgrounds, but each one of us just got on ridiculously well. And I think that's just because we were all meant to be there. I think we had a shared interest, shared experience, so it was really beautiful. So I'm going to be sharing lots of the stuff I learned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sharing sort of the highlights on my business page, and then I will be going into a little bit more depth in my private Facebook group. So if you're not in there and you want to be in there, then I will put the link above or below, whichever it is, and I will, so you can jump in there. But also I'm going to share Olivia and Raf's Facebook group with you as well, because if you're into this kind of thing, then it's really, really, yeah, it's just great stuff, and they're great people. And I just want to give a little shout out to them and say thank you for such an amazing time. We were looked after like royalty. Beautiful Argentinian restaurant on the Saturday. It was absolutely amazing. Hey, Roxanne, how are you? Are you okay? Ah, waving at you. Are you waving back? Because I sometimes do that. Like, oh my God, I'm waving back. Nobody can see me. Okay, so first thing I'm going to talk about is we're going to talk about vibration. So if you're into law of attraction, then you'll understand what that means. Hey, Morag. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Morag's one of my favorite people in the whole world. And so we're going to be talking about vibration. And if you're into law of attraction, you'll know what that means. So there's a little bit of physics, a little bit of science based in this, well, quite a lot in the sense of vibration, that we are all vibrational, emotional, cellular, vibrational beings, and we all vibrate. Hey, Stacey, how are you? Mwah. And we vibrate, like if you were to put a microscope on us a million times, you would just see stuff moving about. So in physics, like attracts like energy attracts like energy. So the whole basis of the law of attraction is that wherever you're vibrating at, you know, the emotions that you feel, the thoughts that you have a vibrational signature to them. Hey, Sarah, how are you? Nice to see you. So my understanding up until, hey, Karen, mother and daughter on the thing. Hi. Hey, Elise, how are you? Give us some hearts, give us some loves. Yeah, so we all understand that. And if you're into this, yes, babes, I'm very well. Thanks, Roxanne. Just trying to get my head around explaining all this. So up until now, my understanding has been that. And I get it, and I'm into it, and I've read books about it, and umpteen YouTube videos. So the information I'm going to share with you is pretty new, pretty groundbreaking, really. We were the first, hey Elena, how are you? We were the first sort of people to hear this newly shared information, which is awesome. And if you want to know where that information comes from, then I'll let, you can find out from them. So when I post the page. So if you're into Abraham Hicks, it's a very similar thing to that, which is sort of higher consciousness and communication and stuff like that. So some people might think that's a bit mad. I was one of them, and I'm now a complete convert because I absolutely love it. Anyway, so what I'm going to be talking about tonight is something called stored vibration and transitional vibration. because I'd never heard of those two things before. Now I am going to use my notes. I am reading them from, I'm going to read some stuff from my workbook from the workshop because I don't want to get it wrong and I don't know it off by heart yet. So, well, I'm not even going to say forgive me because I want you to have the right information. So let's think of some examples of, so what would you say, can you post in the chat what you would say a high vibrational emotion would be? So I'll kickstart it. So love would be one. Please feel free to comment in the box. You've got clarity is one. We all know how amazing we feel when we've got clarity about something. Freedom, in any sense of the word, whether that be freedom from, in your job or financial freedom or whatever that means to you. Enthusiasm. So it's all the emotions that make us feel awesome. So we've also got worthiness here, hope, elation, joy, pride, that feeling when you see your child on the stage, singing on their own and you've got that swell in your stomach, that creates a actual vibration. It has a vibrational signature and you can feel it. I always say to people, right, who question this stuff, especially when it comes to intuition, like people say, oh, I just had a gut feeling. Something told me that I needed to do it. Like, what do you think that something is? I'm going to leave that little question on the table. I know what it is, and I don't call it intuition, and that's a video for another time. But I want you to just ponder that question. And then we've got some low vibrational, so what would be a low vibrational emotion? So hate, obviously very low, the lowest you can get. Well, actually it's not. Shame is the lowest you can get. Guilt, shock, despair, worthlessness, fear, apathy, all these things. I mean, even saying the words makes you feel, ugh. So I want you to start to understand, if this is completely new to you, I want you to start to understand that if you think about those kind of emotions, and if you think about generating those emotions in you, the difference in how you feel when you do them, because that's what I'm talking about. So that vibrational signature that emotion has attached to it, and we get goosebumps when we get excited. That's the vibration sort of rippling through our body. So it exists, and I want you to think about that the next time you feel excited or you feel love and you feel that swell in your chest, that butterflies in your stomach. Like, what do you think that is? That is your vibration, the vibration of that emotion sort of rippling through you. So there's low vibration and high vibration. Also, there's loads of different ones. Hey Nicola, hey Deborah, hi Ruth, hi Donna, Andy. Loads of people on. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so each emotion holds its own vibration, which generates and holds its own frequency. So each emotion has its own frequency. How cool is that? So it's a little bit like a radio station. So if you understand how that works, then you'll understand how the law of attraction works, because it's sort of tuning into to that vibration. So I'll use that analogy, which might make it a bit easy to understand for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. So low vibration has density to it. So it's dense, each with its own density, and therefore compacts are stored vibration and heavy. So I want you to, so stored vibration is stored, and it can manifest itself in pain, illness, sickness, and when we were talking about it, Olivia was saying, there aren't scans yet that show where we carry our low vibration, but there will be, and it will be a thing. So stored vibration is your low vibration. Now this is held from your experiences. So if you think about your past and any really sort of, horrible or impactful or negative experiences that you've either had happen to yourself or you've witnessed happen to other people, that the energy and the energy from that emotion as you felt it at the time can be stored. And I know this, I have been through a real weird sort of 4 or 5 days in regards to my own stuff, and felt some stuff shift, felt it move, and felt different since those days. So I won't go into details on this page because it's not appropriate, but I will share that story in my private Facebook group. So It's hi Mark, hi Carol, hi Claire, Alison, Lucy, Liz, Neelam, Joanne, hey everybody, and Jade. Hi. So your stored vibration is what you store. So it's the low, weighty, heavy, and it literally has density to it. So it weighs. And so depending on what kind of life you've had, what kind of life experience you've had, or whether or not you have dealt with past negative experiences will impact how much stored low vibration you had. Now, interestingly enough, most of you who know me would class husband walking in halfway through. So the interesting thing was that most people that know me, and most of you do who are on this, would say that I was a really high vibe, very happy, bubbly person, which on the surface of that is true. And I am that person. However, I have quite a high stored low vibration, and that is because of stuff that's happened in the past, stuff that I've not dealt with, stuff that I didn't even recognize as an issue that has caused me to have some quite strong stored negative vibration. And the weird thing is that, because I'm going to come on to transitional vibration in a minute, in fact, I'll talk about that now because it's relevant. So your transitional vibration is your active now vibration. So it's the emotion that you're feeling in the moment, and sort of the moments either side. So I'll read it out just to be clear. So your transitional vibration is all about your now and near now experience. So you might wake up feeling like shit, but then something amazing happens, and in that moment you feel really high vibe because you feel elation and joy and love in that moment. So that would be your transitional vibration. So you can move from low to high status throughout your day. And basically, if you want to attach that to mood, you can go from being in a really shit mood to being in an amazing mood, and vice versa. And you get up in a really good mood, and then somebody cuts you up, or somebody nicks your parking space, and suddenly you're pissed off and angry at everybody. So that happens, and we're all aware of that. We all know that. So the predominant vibration, i.e. the percentage over or under 50%, is where you can change and fluctuate. The best possible thing to do is start on a high vibration and sustain it. Now, this is where it was interesting, because I generally wake up quite grumpy. And that's not because I'm not a morning person, because I would class myself as a morning person now. But I can wake up more often than not feeling a bit pissed off, a bit grumpy, a bit can't be bothered. But because of all the work I've done over the last 10 years on myself, and my habits now are really good, I get myself into a great mood because I choose to, and I generate the feelings of joy and happiness and balance and calm and excitement for the day. I generate that because I know that makes me feel better, and I know the things that make that happen. So, but if you wake up in a bad mood often, it may be because you're carrying some negative shit that you need to get rid of, to put it bluntly. And I was talking to Raf about it today, and he actually said as well, it depends on, what happens is it can depend on your mood before you go to bed. So if you want to wake up in a better mood, feeling higher vibration and better, then make sure you're intentional before you go to sleep. So tend to think about stuff that you're excited about, maybe a meditation, maybe a gratitude journal, or something that makes you feel great before you go to sleep. Because what can happen is if you feel like shit before you go to sleep, the likelihood is you're going to feel like shit when you wake up. And so your transitional vibration can essentially moves through you. So it moves through you. So it's like it's a transitional thing, hence the name. Okay. So stored vibration, just to go back to that, is actually literally in your cells. You carry it in your cells in your body. And currently I'm going to read this now. Currently you will be a mixture of stored high and low vibrational emotion that physically resides within your cells. The overall percentage relates to all of your experiences to date and how you have allowed or disallowed a connection to love in that moment. So we talked a lot about past and how we label things, and this is really relevant to my timeline therapy stuff that I do, It's like things happen. Did you label it with love or did you label it with fear? And if you labeled it with fear, that experience, when anything happens that's close to it, you get that same anxiety, that same fear, and it sort of compounds that. And so that this is so relevant. And when they were talking about this, I was like, oh my God, that's exactly like the timeline therapy processes that I do, and very, very relevant. So there is a process, a letting go process. So it's identifying what your stored vibration is. And the crazy thing is for me, is that I actually, the thing that's caused the most stored low vibration for me is something that I hadn't even registered as a problem. It's something that I talked about very nonchalantly. I was very flippant about it. But once I'd been through this process and some of the other stuff that had come up over the 4 days, I realized that actually the thing that I hadn't even registered that would have had an effect, had the deepest effect, and has affected everything since, down to areas of my personality, loads of stuff. I'm not, like I said, it's not really the appropriate time to go into it now, but it's been alarmingly evident. And now I've been through the process and I sort of understand. I can't believe I didn't see it as a negative, especially doing what I do. It's mad. So that's what they both are. So you have lots of vibrations in you. You have stored negative and you have a transitional vibration. So your transitional is how you feel in the moment. So if you have a great day and you're feeling high vibration most of the day, that's amazing. But if you're not dealing with the stuff that's going on deep down back in your subconscious, then you can still be quite a low vibrational person, even though you appear to be a very, outwardly high vibe person, which is what I would class myself as. And I was quite alarmed and a bit annoyed. I was a bit like, a bit disappointed about that. However, the beauty of that is that there's something we can do about it. And the letting go process I'm going to be sharing in my group. So if you think that you've got some stored vibration that you might want to get rid of, and it really just is awareness about the things in your past, experiences, things that have happened to you, things that you may have witnessed, that can have a negative effect on your. Now, one thing I'm going to say to you that may blow your mind a little bit, but I'll risk it, is that these experiences can be from within the womb. So we're not talking just about stuff you can remember. We're talking about the emotional vibration of your mother while she was pregnant with you. And that can have an effect, because I know from my NLP training that your unconscious mind is active the minute life is formed. So the minute your brain starts to form, the unconscious, subconscious, same thing, is active, and it remembers and it stores every single thing that it soaks up. So our conscious mind doesn't really come into play until after we're born. In fact, fully into play, into our early years. But our unconscious brain is active the minute we're in the womb. So if you have this feeling that you've done loads of work on yourself, and you might have been to therapy, you might have had a coach, and you've worked on all your stuff that you can remember, there might just be something going on from stuff you can't remember and stuff that happened before your memory, your conscious memory was there. And most of my mates will know my memory is awful. Like I can remember about 3 things from my entire school time. So I've got an awful memory, but I want you to just think on that you might not remember the thing that has had quite a significant impact on your experiences and your view on life and how you feel and your fear. Because I found that no matter what I did and all the stuff that I've worked on and all the stuff that I've done, I still felt this fear would creep in, and I just didn't understand where it came from. And it is a lack of self-worth, and I don't get it. I just never got it. I never understood where it came from. So I just want you to ponder on that. But the one thing I do want, so the letting go process I will be sharing in my private Facebook group, but I just want to talk you through this because this is really brilliant. And this is the last thing I'm going to do. How long have I been on? I don't know. So there are levels of emotional release. And I just want to go through these because it's really, really, really cool. So your level 1 would be the root core experience. So this might be something that you don't even remember. So emotions that are generated as a result of an experience or thought about an experience of yours or somebody else's. So you may have witnessed something that happened to somebody else, you know, a car crash, or somebody got knocked over, or something negative that would have created in the moment some powerful emotion in you that could be stored. Level 2, journey-related fears. So over time, the experiences build a story of suffering of some kind or another. Your vibration is impacted as a result of these different experiences. So for example, I hate my life could generate the emotions of sadness, anger, and fear, etc. Our root experience could also trigger additional journey-related emotions. So the initial thing could have happened, and then over time we develop a story about it, which then branches off new fears. So to give you an example, say somebody lost a relative, a sibling when they were young, and the house had to be kept really clean, and so then that person developed a fear of dirty toilets, or so there's journey-related fears that can have from the initial root experience, it then knocks on to, think about it, a fear branching out, like it's what's related to that core experience. And then level 3 is level 2 fears, secondary emotions. So as a result of level 2 fears, you generate another layer of low vibration, e.g. anger at always being judged, disbelief at the lack of love you have received, fear that you are going to be emotionally or physically hurt again. And these are hangovers, for want of a better word, from the original cause. So the reason I'm talking about that is because if you think about it, you could have had a root experience that you maybe don't remember. It may have happened before you were consciously aware of it, and you have been living with the fears that have been an extension of that original thing. And you might have a really irrational fear and you're not sure where you got it from. It might be related to that core experience that you can't remember, or that's not in your conscious mind. So this is where things like regressional hypnotherapy are really valuable. I'm going to be training with that in the summer, can't wait. So regressional hypnotherapy, which allows you to access sort of unconscious memory. It's so fascinating, so fascinating. So, I went on this retreat thinking it was going to be about law of attraction, and it was really deeply spiritual, not in a religious way, but in a very sort of connecting to higher self. And it was lovely, like really, really incredible information, but also really, really interesting within regards to our past and how it subtly, and in my case, very, very subtly, has had this insidious sort of, I call it the wasp at a barbecue, like this very quiet sort of negative effects on you over time. And you've got these fears and these worries that you just don't know where they come from. And it's really hard for us to identify them if we don't know what we're doing. So I'm done. I'm not going to cut waffling on. Just let me say hi to anyone who's come on since I've been wobbling on. Hey, Polly. Hey, Sarah, Camilla, Claire. Totally understand this. Love to know how to get rid of it. Awesome, Claire. I think you're in my group anyway, aren't you, babes? Hi, Becca. Hey, Lisa. Ben Dixon. How are you, babes? Charlotte Moon. Good name, Charlotte. So awesome. Thank you ever so much for everybody that's joined. I'll post the link to the group in the chat. Come in there if you want to know how to get rid of it. And then, and also all this content that I have learned over 4 jam-packed days, from 10 till 4 every day, jam-packed full of literally mind-blowing information, like my head fell off many times, is all going into the last 6 weeks of my course. So the reason that I had, and it's funny because something, I now know what that something is, something had held me back from finishing that last 6 weeks. And it was because I was meant to be on this course to get this information from Olivia and Raf and the team. And so I can share it with people and really, really help people understand sort of what's going on with their stuff and how to get rid of it and how to just be happier, and just live great lives. 3 more comments. Emma Louise, hey, Emma, Ben. Awesome, loads of people. Yeah, so it's all in the last 6 weeks of my course, so I'm super excited about that now because I sort of came home and I just rejigged it all, and I'm just cracking on because I know now it's absolutely spot on. So proud of it. Anyway, so that more news about that will be coming in the next couple of weeks. So that's it, I'm done. So I'll post the link. Happy days. Thank you for listening. Thanks for all your comments and your support and your hearts and your loves. Love you all. Bye.